Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Front End Happy Hour podcast.
Welcome to this week's JS Party.
Live from Shipshape Studios, this is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot, with your hosts, Robbie the Wagner and me, Charles William Carpenter III.
That's right, Charles. We drink whiskey and talk about web development. I mean, it's all in the name. It's not that deep.
This is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot. Do not adjust your set.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Monthly Malarkey with your hosts. Feel like we haven't done this in a long time. I don't remember how to podcast anymore.
Yeah,
it's been like a month.
Has it been? It's been a couple of weeks. We've been releasing backlog items, which are in the order they would have released anyway. So there's no loss in that sense, but life has been in the way for a few weeks' time, it seems like.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by Mucinex because I've been sick for
or as my mom says it for
so.
some reason, Mucinex. You should take some Mucinex. And I'm like, Mucinex. Oh, shut up. So that's there's a little glimpse into my life, so don't be jealous.
Yeah, but we should start with this whiskey, see if we can get some of the mucus out of my throat.
Yes, because in Kentucky, cough syrup is whiskey mixed with hot water and lemon. It's called it.
Possibly some honey. Honey is good.
Honey is also good there too. Yeah. Okay. So today we're having the Cyrus Noble small batch bourbon whiskey. It is 90 proof, aged 5+ years. So it's blended, I'm guessing. Didn't get that explicitly. Mash bill of 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. So there's a little more barley up in this one. We'll see what's going on there. This episode is brought to you by Norland Glasses. You, too, can get yourself one at Norland Glasses.
NorlandGlass.com.
Yeah, Norland Glass,
remember the
singular.
website this time.
Good job, because I say it wrong every time. This one or that one. This or that.
Yeah, or other things. If you want a tumbler or decanters, they have a bunch of stuff. I don't have all of the things they have.
Do you have anything other than these glasses?
I have one of the heavy tumblers.
Oh, nice. Would recommend.
Yeah. It's very heavy. It's like, it's hard to hold, honestly, but like in a good way.
Yeah, I like that. It's got some durability to it. Is it dishwasher safe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I don't know if they say it is, but I put it in the dishwasher and it's fine.
Ooh.
I put these in the dishwasher and they're fine.
That's brave shit. My wife tucked one in one time and I got to it before she turned it on. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's just
we just usually don't obey what it says. Like we have these glasses with little bees on them too, like the bug, a bee, not the letter B.
Not the letter B. It's like, what are these?
Yeah, and
the name B.
And they're like, never put this in the dishwasher. And we're like, you know what? We're gonna do it. And if they break, they break, and they haven't broken. So whatever.
I got a little lemongrass, light.
I'm smelling strawberry bubblegum.
Huh. I wish I was getting that. No, lemongrass for me.
Oh man, haven't had alcohol in a while, and that is potent.
Yeah, it's been, definitely not quite 24 hours yet, but we're getting there. I'm priming the palate here a little bit. I get a little spice. This is a little sugar, a little spice. Definitely a little cinnamon in the beginning. A little bit of
I would
brown
say
sugar.
I was just gonna say brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually the sweetness isn't specifically sugar for me, but I'm feeling the exact taste of like putting some brown sugar in my mouth.
Yeah. It usually has more of a like char or something to it, but this tastes more like the sugar, and then a little sharp at the end, like maybe even like a slight nuttiness. I don't know. Interesting. I had this one many years ago, actually, and I really disliked it at that time. So I don't know if there's a difference in they've improved their process and product. Yeah, because I would say it was probably like at least 5 years ago. But I know I've had it before, and I remember seeing this and being like, well, you decided to, YOLO and do some orders. And so I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that guy. I don't know about him because it is San Francisco distilled, I believe. Distilled in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, actually it says distilled in Kentucky, but Cyrus Noble is from San Fran. So, which some people believe is the greatest city on earth. That's what I was trying to say. And not whatever was coming out before. No shade there.
Ooh.
Anyway.
And the show is canceled, folks.
Oh, I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later. That's what you get for saddling up with this pony, bro. Yeah, I'm going to still taste it. I don't know if you're ready for any kind of rating.
I don't have a lot of additional notes on the flavor. It, to me, feels a lot like, I don't know, it's not smooth. Like, I'm getting a lot of things in different directions that are like, pow, pow, pow. And I'm like, I don't know. None of it is terrible.
No, it's okay. It's like not bad. I remember definitely disliking it before. I think it's only like $40-$50, so it's not that expensive either. I think it's like in the 40 range. And yeah, I know what you're saying. Like the flavors on their own don't sound bad, but in this combination, it's a little weird and it's a little hot. Like it's burning more than it should for 90 proof, which is
like it feels like they're on the right track, but it's not very balanced. It's like a inexperienced mixer or mash bill creator or something.
Yeah.
So like it has potential. I would say I'm going to give it right middle of the road at a 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is lower than I thought you would go. Well, I'm going to hold on here. By the way, folks, you may not remember, but we have a highly complicated rating system from 0 to 8 tentacles. 0 being terrible. I'm going to throw this away. 4 being middle of the road, as Robbie has just rated this one, and 8 being amazing, clear the shelves, which for the layman just means buy them all. Literally clear the shelf. It's so great every time you see it, buy everyone you have. I was just reminded, I started listening to Smartless again recently, and they always have these like notes. Whenever you're doing industry speak, they say, they speak to Sean Hayes' sister, Tracy, and they're like, and for Tracy, that's blah, blah, blah. So for Tracy, clear the shelves means this.
See, that I actually didn't know either. I thought when you said clear the shelves, it meant take everything you have on your shelf and throw it away because this one's so good.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I guess, not wrong in that sense, but clear the shelves usually means like you see it out, buy it. It's an immediate buy. If they have more than one, buy them all, clear the shelves.
Okay.
Like that's how good it is.
Now we know.
Do you know what a tater is? I almost wonder if we should say
like a potato.
A tater and the whiskey thing. They're like, oh gosh, you know what? I think we should table this for next week. We're going to have a guest on that is in the industry, whiskey industry, and I'm sure he knows what a tater is. And a tater, let me just say that it's akin to like poser in other vernaculars, other groups. Like, when you like buy all the best stuff, but you're not very good in a sport or something like that, like you're a poser. It's kind of like that.
Was that when we were talking to Dax, or was that on their show that they're saying the term for buying all the stuff but you're not good is a buy hard?
Oh, I did see Dax's. Dax had a tweet that was to that. Like, even if you're not very good at your hobby, you can still buy all the nice stuff for your hobby or something like that, and that becomes kind of your hobby. I don't know. I don't listen to that show because like fuck those guys, especially because Adam refuses the book. He's like, yeah, guys, send me the link. I totally want to be on. I'm like, well, now we're 85 and bankrupt, and we can't accommodate you. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, by the time you book, you're buying your own whiskey, bud.
Yeah. That's the new format of the show. Come on and be a guest, and by be a guest, it means you're sponsoring yourself. Thank you. Would you buy us
actually send us whiskey instead of the other way around?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we'd love to have you on. What whiskey do you want to do? Cool, I'll give you my address. Oh my gosh, if we could start to get people to instead send us the whiskeys, that's the ultimate arbitrage.
All right, yeah, we'll try that next time.
Well, I mean, we do have a guest booked who is going to send us whiskey. He would like to drive.
We have a couple because David said he was going to send whiskey too.
That's
right?
who I meant. Who else? Oh, I guess because Clint is. Clint. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. We have a couple. This is a good new business model.
Did you rate this?
I haven't. No.
I can't remember what you said.
Thank you for coming back.
Well, go ahead and...
I had something in my mind, and now I'm like, you went a 4, so a 4 is just, it's middle of the road. And I'm trying to think of it in that context. So middle of the road for bourbon. I mean, let's say that's definitely like, what is that? What is that for you? What is your 4? You need to have like your baseline. Evan Williams. Small batch or Evan Williams in the white bottle?
Just regular.
White label. Yeah, so white label Evan Williams probably costs $24, something like that. That's not a bad one. I was thinking something like Maker's Mark, but that's weeded, so I don't really want to throw that one on here. I think Buffalo Trace is better than this, if that kind of sends.
But Buffalo Trace is very good, so I wouldn't call it middle of the road.
I know, but Buffalo
Especially
Trace
for its price.
It's $26 for me. for a Buffalo Trace, and I would definitely rate that higher than this. So, okay, yeah, given that, I think I kind of agree with you. I think it's a 4. It's slightly different. It could bring an interesting mix to cocktails, but as a sipper on its own, it's like not terrible. So that's where I'm at. I'm agreeing. It's a 4.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have many tech topics today. We have tech adjacent things.
Mm-hmm.
First being my job with I do tech things sometimes.
Yeah. Wait. Newsflash: Robert Wagner the 8th has changed employers.
Yes, it is a sad day that I am no longer with Manamana, and
yeah, you're out.
I will be joining HashiCorp as a staff engineer. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to be architecting all of the Ember apps, essentially, like making sure all of the updates go well and everyone's on the same page, helping everybody do stuff the Ember way.
You're writing TRDs, like it or not, motherfucker.
I don't know what that acronym
Technical
stands for,
requirement docs.
Well, I'm not sure. We'll have to see what two things. One, so they right now mainly just do RFCs and like kind of implement it from there. But they also just got acquired by IBM. So there may be a lot more red tape document-y kind of things happening later. We'll see.
Yeah, later, because those acquisitions usually take a while for it to like change anything, especially process and bureaucracy wise. Kind of depends on what they do, management and all of that.
Yeah.
So you work for IBM.
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't know that. And that's not in Manamana, but it is kind of a big multi-decade computing conglomerate. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
I don't really know what IBM has been doing. They've been acquiring a lot of people. Like they acquired Red Hat and they acquired HashiCorp. And like, so clearly they have big piles of money to acquire things that are doing well.
Yeah.
So they must have been doing something. But yeah, I mean, I always think of IBM as like, I used to see that on like my computer from 1996 or whatever. Like, I don't remember, anything
DOS?
in recent
Did
memory.
you ever
like,
use DOS?
IBM has been like doing this thing. But
did you ever touch DOS?
A little. I forget what for. I feel like in Windows 95, you sometimes had to boot into DOS to do some stuff. I forget what for.
I definitely got to use a computer that booted. I think the Atari computer that we had as a kid that would use your TV as a monitor was DOS on boot up. And we had those floppy disks that were like the bigger ones, not the like smaller 3.5-inch ones, but they were big,
the 5-inch,
very floppy. And those word games were on there, the like adventure games that were all text driven. That was about the extent for me. And I remember it because my grandfather was actually a programmer for Procter & Gamble. And when he passed, we ended up, getting some hodgepodgey random things here. And, you have a computer. Here's some of his disks. And he didn't have games. He had some programs. And he had actually some like yellow notepads of like sketching out programming ideas. If only I had known better or not grown up in a horrible environment full of idiots, but I would still have that stuff. But I didn't really know what to do with it. No one else knew what to do with it. It obviously just went away at some point. Anyway, that was my DOS experience.
Yeah, I think it probably was for games. There were probably like certain games that wouldn't run in Windows. You had to boot into DOS to like run it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play Heretic?
I don't think so.
That was one of my favorite games, and it was on like 3 or 4 floppies. I remember you'd have to like swap them out and stuff, and like
I played Zork. Zork was probably the most famous one that I played. I played Zork, and then there was a couple of games like that, with the old text-based stuff. But yeah, it was pretty cool. There was one that I don't remember what it was called, but it was one of those kind of games. It was like a murder mystery thing or something. But what was cool is that in the game box, they gave you a few like physical elements. Like you started out and you had like this letter, and then you were going to use that letter to sort of like throughout the game maybe unlock information. And here's I don't know, a key or something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was a letter distinctly, and having physical elements and then be texting, typing in to do stuff, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's like a escape room kind of. Like you got your things that are clues and you're trying to figure out what they mean.
Yeah, exactly like that. Anyway, food for thought there, but congratulations. When is your first day?
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, okay. Nice. Are you Irish at all?
I think I do have some Irish, but not predominantly Irish, no.
No. I'm Irish and German predominantly.
I think I'm mostly English and little German.
Those tiny Germans. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, okay. I do want to talk about this is a technical thing. Although I should mention I also started a new job, so
yeah, I just looked at the notes and noticed you added to my bullet point, you or me or both.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make sure that when you said that, since I also have, and there's this time of putting in your notice with your current employer and all of that kind of shit, that I was clear on what we can talk about.
Yes. Yeah. I put in my notice on Monday. So
cool. Yes. So I've gone the other direction. Well, I guess not totally true, but like I was going to say, Phenomena wants nothing to do with me, and that's okay. I have joined a startup, and startup is kind of a loose way, but it is a cybersecurity training company. The company has been around for 4 years. They have worked in the cybersecurity space the entire time, but more training versus assessment now, and some kind of cool things there. So I'll be leading engineering for a small team, and we'll see where that goes. I mean, just in terms of, I'm very excited about the company. I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Nice. Yeah. When does a company stop being a startup?
I don't know. They just raised a Series A. I think it kind of starts, well, obviously when you go public is one. Obviously when you have been acquired as another. I think when you start to hit Series C raises to a degree and you're profitable, then you stop being considered that, or, you have certain milestones in your revenue.
When you could survive more than like a month without VC funding?
Exactly. Well, and that's what appealed to me about this is non-traditional. This is a company that's in the black that uses revenue for growth instead of like supercharges from VCs. And
it's unheard of.
Yeah. Most of this is about growing and doing more R&D, actually. So it's not even like, oh, they need this to keep the doors open, which appeals to me because I'm getting older and I can't wait until I'm dead for you to figure out how to make money.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't want to go down this as a topic, but I think we have limited time that we can be programmers and still make money. So
possibly.
Yeah, make money while you can, folks. Get those high paying jobs.
Make money. Sunshine. That's a camp. If you know Deep Cut right there, Camp Low. Nope, you have no idea who that is.
I'm looking at the chat. Cyrus is asking if John Hammond is part of whatever you're talking about.
Why can't I see that?
It's on the live stream chat.
I know, but it's like I'm in the app for Riverside. I'm trying.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have that.
It doesn't? Oh, that sucks.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It also doesn't have the go live button, so I just can't use it at all.
Oh, well, I won't use it next time. So John Hammond is not a part of that. John Hamm or Hammond.
Yeah, I'm familiar with John Hamm. I don't know John Hammond.
Han and Bubble. I wish John Hamm was part of this, but that would be really cool. I loved Mad Men. No, he is not. Since we are like 12 people, I know them all, and none of them are named John. Dear John.
All right, well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yes. Starpod. I want to talk about Starpod a little bit. Starpod is a Robbie Wagner production, and it is an
Robbie the Wagner.
Yeah, Robbie the Wagner production. And because you've done all of it, I have done none of it, and that is fine with me. So tell us a little bit about what's coming.
If you're not using AstroDB and some kind of SQLite database to power said AstroDB, nothing new is coming for you. But I was adding, because we've had the occasional sponsor that we want to put on an episode page or whatever. So I had like relationships for the person being a host or a guest, and then being that host or guest record was associated with episodes. Mm-hmm. That way you could have like a single person record, but multiple guests or whatever. Because like SQL doesn't have a one-to-many relationship that I've been able to figure out. Like you have to just do all these, like join everything together, and like pretty fucking annoying, honestly.
Well,
anyway.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yes. So yeah, so you have to like, I'm doing the similar thing with sponsors. So you got like a sponsor and then like a sponsor per episode. And that populates the sponsors that you can have per episode. So we have one up there for Norland Glass, norlandglass.com.
Yes.
And, we'll continue to use it for whoever may be sponsoring at the time. But then now you can put links on the pages. And then coming after that, which will be totally irrelevant to anyone but us, I'm going to put whiskey stuff on there.
Well, I disagree with that on a couple of levels. I have had a to-do item for a while. And one of those is like go back through our content and add to our spreadsheet any whiskeys that are missing. Because just sometimes, like if in interest of over a 3-year period of not repeating ourselves, sometimes I got to look and remember. There's also been times where I actually have wanted to, I'll use the whole Google search where it's like cite whiskey.fm, and then I'll look for the whiskey and it doesn't come up, but it doesn't mean it's actually not there. And I've gone to the spreadsheet and then found it. And so I think having whiskeys better represented in the site will improve that like search experience. Although I do think we should have search. That would be cool too.
Yes, search has been avoided because I don't really want to touch that.
Okay. So if that's going to happen, I should do it. Gotcha.
Well, search is in the mocks. Like it was planned for. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
But what I meant by it not mattering to anyone wasn't that the info wasn't relevant. I meant if another podcast is using Starpod, they're probably not going to have whiskeys. So like,
right.
It won't matter to the consumer of Starpod. Like it will matter to people looking at our page.
Yeah.
They'll think that's a cool little thing to see, I'm sure.
I wonder if you could have it as a more like abstracted object, like review item or review product, or I don't know, product. Maybe you have a product association and it's more generalized like that. And then we could have our own custom meta fields or something.
Sounds like you're volunteering to architect that part of Starpod.
I am a staff principal engineer at starpod.dev. And yeah, it's amazing.
It sounds legit.
Yeah. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no because I think it is cool and useful. So we'll see. I am trying to have like fewer jobs and responsibilities in life. So I would love to do more open source work.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I also have been working on updating Shepherd to Svelte 5, which has been
Did Rich send you some money or anything? Like, no.
No, it's the like overall principles make sense to update to, but then you have problems with like all this janky shit we were doing where it's like, build it normally, but then also grab all the like types and like run it through a TypeScript bundle generator that will generate a single TypeScript declaration file so that if you're using ESM or CJS, you can import the ones you need and like it all just works. So that stuff is not working well. And currently, like, it won't even run, but it does build. So I'm like, how does it build and then do nothing and have no errors? Like, I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Weird.
I'm hopeful that will be done sometime soon because it'll be cool to have that up to date and be on the new runes stuff and get all the latest stuff. I saw something about like Svelte 6 is on the horizon as well. So
we're just trying to catch up, bro. And then there's Tailwind 4, and then people have been saying things about Tailwind 4. There's like, there's a lot. I'm not chasing versions though, so
no. Yeah, so we'll see if that actually gets done or not, but I tried to do it with AI too. I was like, yo dog, just update this to Svelte 5 for me. It's like, cool, got you, did it, done. And I was like, yeah, this error, it says there's no CSS file. And it's like, no, it didn't. I'm like, all right, cool.
Listen, dog, I'm not paying you. What is your current AI of choice? Yeah, what
like which LLM do I use?
Or just what tool set? Break down the tools.
So I'm doing most things through Warp's agent mode, which I think will run any of them, but I use Claude 3.5. I've read a lot of people on Twitter said 3.7 is too intense, so
right.
I haven't been doing that.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's the default through their web interface. But I mean, I've tried Cursor. I tried Windsurfer recently. What's funny is, so with new job, you get new laptop, and I decided to set it up anti-me. It's like, what would you use? Oh, iTerm.
NeoVim.
Right. I mean, no, not quite there. I have done that on the Linux laptop, actually, though. Typecraft has some videos with Omakube and taking you into the tools there and NeoVim a little bit. So I did play with some of those. And there's another one, too. Anyway, Alacrity, I think. Anyway, Doesn't matter. Tangential.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, but that's not the Mac laptop. So I have a M4 MacBook Pro. So I was like, okay, starting from zero again. Like I didn't transfer my profile. I just decided like my dot files, everything's a little antiquated. I'm in my lane. It works for me. I'm going to just anti that. Start fresh, do some different stuff. I did not try fish though. But anyway, listen.
You got to do fish. Fish is great.
You're going to be very proud though. GitHub Desktop. I'm using that. Ghosty. So didn't do Warp, but I have tried Warp in the past. So I was like, I haven't tried this. I'm going to do Ghosty. And then I added Cursor there. I added Windsurfer. So Windsurfer's kind of cool. I kind of like that interface. I was looking actually just recently at Claude Code. So that's like your terminal hits the API directly, which is interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like I'm going to start fresh and try some different interfaces. Windsurfer, I don't know. I did like Windsurfer a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to pay for it or not yet, but
yeah, I've heard most people like first haven't really even tried it. I don't know why it doesn't get a lot of love. Like Cursor gets a ton of love, but
which one is based in San Francisco? I think that's part of it. I think that there is like off air, I'd call it the Circle Jerk crew, and there's like a group of tools and companies, and they invest in each other and they do all this stuff, and they also like pump each other as like the stack du jour, and this is how I get so much done. If you just follow me, you'll be an amazing engineer, and you'll be able to call yourself engineer and do what I say.
And they're a Southern gentleman, it sounds like.
I've got here for you some fried chicken and Next.js. I do say.
The perfect combo.
Perfect combo. Mashed potatoes on top. But gotta have the gravy. And by gravy, I mean Cursor AI. I should do a whole episode as the Colonel. That would be amazing. You know, a secret part of me has always kind of wanted to be a voice actor. I don't even know if that because I do like different voices and impressions, and that just sounds fun. It probably doesn't make any money, but boy, does it sound fun.
Yeah, I think it only makes money when you're already really famous and people want to see what you can do.
Yeah, like when Brad Pitt is like, oh, I want to do a cartoon so my kids can watch it. Like, oh, good for you, Brad Pitt. One more fucking house. Or, you know, it's like, that's not.
Here's $5 million. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for 30 minutes of work. See you later, bitch. Here comes Charles William Carpenter III. We got him for the next 64 hours. He also made $64.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
This just in, Whiskey.fund is now open for all your merch needs.
That's right, Robbie. We're hearing reports of hats, sweaters, and t-shirts, as well as a link to join our Discord server.
What's a Discord server?
Just read the prompter, man.
Hit subscribe, leave us a review on your favorite podcast app, and tell your friends about our broadcast.
It really does help us reach more people and keeps the show growing.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
To regress back for just a second, I think when we convert to Svelte 5, we should also say we're only going to ship ESM because I'm tired of this bullshit with the ESM and CJS.
Right. Feature-wise, you know, what else feature-wise can we do? I mean, we can add some additional nice-to-have customization. I really think feature-wise we're very mature. And backwards compatibility. And there was a recent argument on Twitter yet again. Also, yet again, you, Ryan Florence, why are you always arguing with people? But about...
Because he has the wrong opinions.
Fair enough. Maybe, maybe not. But
he's the one that was like, let is so much better than const,
oh, right. Yeah, but many of your Ember folk also think that. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so open source arguments about backwards compatibility. And let's be honest, too, we're not a web framework. Like... I actually I agree with you. Let me just go ahead and cut to the chase here. I agree with you. I think that at a certain point, we are not required to release future versions that are compatible in perpetuity with IE7. Like, I don't give a fuck to a point. A web standards movement actually would be better served by things only being accessible to the future state. And that's what major versions are for. Just don't upgrade. Like, version pin. Does your shit work? Just version pin then.
I think the big problem and why people need all these different formats and whatever is like people are using different frameworks with different TypeScript configs and different module formats, and they put it on like module, I forget what it's called, but the one where it's like node. And node actually means node 16, like a super end of life
Oh, wow.
node.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe even older. And maybe there's a node 16 that's a little newer. I might be like, it's an old as fuck node. And then people are like, it doesn't work with this. And I'm like, I don't want it to work with that.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be like, it should probably kind of behave with like node 20, node 22, whatever, like newer ones.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should behave with the other ones. And then in the perfect world, it should only work with bundler, because bundler is like your front end. I'm running it through Vite or whatever. And like, we can't run server side anyway. It doesn't work server side. It's not supposed to. It needs a lot of Windows stuff. So like, we should probably just support the like bleeding edge browser ESM.
Yeah. I think LTS is 18 right now. So, I mean, I don't think I just.
Well, I think
Googled
20
it.
is end of life soon too.
Right. It goes to maintenance mode. So it's not end of life per se. Like 18
End of active development.
is end of maintenance. So yeah, you're right. Exactly. So in that sense, 18 is end of maintenance. I don't know. I can't tell if this is mid-April or May, but give or take this year. 20 will go into April of 2026. 22 is in active development, so anyway, all of that is to say is 16. I didn't realize that meant 16. And yeah, and if you're on those things, then you should understand how to more actively manage your dependencies. You should be pinning to specific versions, and then you get to the last maintenance release of a patch and you're done, right? Like, you don't do anything else.
Yeah, I updated Angular Shepherd to like all the latest Shepherd stuff, and it broke everybody's types because they were using Node. Like, I think that's the default when you spin up an Angular project.
I see.
It uses the old Node one.
Oh.
Either that's the default or it used to be the default and no one's changed it since they've been building their projects. But everyone was like, hey, the types don't work. And I was like, can you just change that to bundler? And one guy was like, yep, it works. And I was like, all right, cool. And then another guy's like, oh, I got to keep it on nodes. It doesn't work. And I'm like, I just don't want to spend the time debugging your legacy shit.
Also, I think that wrappers have diminishing returns. So we retired the React one.
I don't know. 50 cents making pretty good money.
With a W, rapper with a W. Yeah. And is he? Because he's had his ups and downs these days. But, Yeah.
It was just for the purpose of the joke.
Oh, but I mean, he's one that you can still talk about and touch without issue to the most part.
Yeah.
You don't have to love him as a human, but he didn't diddle any kids. So he didn't diddy any kids. How about that? And he's not wearing Nazi symbols, although that's now being spun as performance art. I don't know, whatever. Here's a question. So Wu-Tang is doing like their third final tour. There's a part of me that is like, wow, that'd be amazing. I've seen them once, but it's been a while, like 20 years the last time or something, maybe longer. Amazing 20 years ago, but it's all like relative in that sense. It's like, do I want to see a bunch of 50-year-olds bounce around? I don't know. I have seen Method Man rap recently, and he is still like probably better than half of what you hear today. Like flow. Nobody has flow anymore.
Yeah, no, because it's all electronic. But yeah, like, I think it depends. Also, depending on the price, because like they're not in their prime.
No.
It would probably be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be super great.
You know what they are still, though?
What?
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
That's probably still true. But
But yeah, it just, there's something about being a rapper and trying to be like, I'm so hood and gangsta, and like you're like 65 years old or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, I don't believe that narrative anymore. Like,
right. Like anyone who gets rich improves their quality of life, and in turn that affects them in some ways. I mean, I guess that is another thing about like, I think a struggle and like things like that influence art in certain ways. And I think that's why so many bands or groups or artists will kind of flop on their sophomore effort, because once they get a little taste and get out of like poverty or whatever is, if they solve the problem that kind of influenced the art and that's all they had to give, then that's the end of it, right?
Yeah, it's not real anymore.
Yeah, it's not real, and then you're manufactured, or it's like So then skill comes into place, because I think that's the Eminem Marshall Mathers story, is that once he wasn't an addict and he wasn't poor and he wasn't like all of those things kind of went away. But then he had rap battles to deal with still in his life. And then, he's so skilled. Like he's still probably one of the best freestyle rappers ever. You can't fuck with that. So he can still like kind of do good, entertaining things, but it's not about like how Mom's Spaghetti does jack shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting, like Ice Cube and Ice-T and like the stuff they've been acting in. Like, Ice Cube's got like his like kids movies. Yeah. And then, Ice-T is like on Law and Order SVU for the last
I love that for
2
him,
decades.
Though. Yeah.
But it's like, they're all like, yeah, I'm a cop killer. Oh, I'm here to be the cop.
Yeah. Now I'm the kid. Like, that's true. Like he had a metal band, Cop Killer and all that stuff. Well, Ice-T's things though, his stuff was based on a book by Iceberg Slim, like that whole pimp stuff and like gangster hustler shit. He was there and saw some of that, but a big part of that character was this book he read, because he was actually in one of those breakdancer movies also. So early Ice Cube or Ice-T was not
a breakdancer
like that. I don't think but he was in the scene. He was like rapping. Like early rap was lighthearted and fun. It was a way to sort of be like, yeah, this kind of sucks, but here we are. We're dancing. We're doing these, and we have great beats and all of that. So. Anyway, yeah, most of it is a facade and acting and playing a part. Jay-Z said he did sell crack rock in his palm, and that's what started his record label, so good for you. But yeah, there's always like kind of a line there. I mean, 50 Cent, your hero, he was shot. He was kind of a banger.
9 times.
Yeah, so that's fucking real. How do you get shot 9 times? You sell records out of the back of your car, and then you date Chelsea Handler. That's interesting. Like, I think they're both interesting people. Like, they connected. They're artists, I guess. I don't know. You never would have. Yeah. You never would have put that on your bingo card. Things. Yeah, he invested in vitamin water. He was like, "What's this bullshit? I don't know. Give him my money."
Yeah. He lost 100 pounds to play a cancer patient,
right,
in a movie which I never saw.
I didn't see it either, but I remember reading that. Yeah.
What a waste. Please give me your 100 pounds of muscle. I would take it.
Well, Christian Bale did that with The Machinist. Did you ever see that? Because that is worth watching. He got like anorexic, like crazy skinny, and did that like Nothing Underground movie. And then he had to put 100+ pounds of muscle on to play Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a turnaround.
He's like, I've definitely taken about 10 years off of my life. Like by doing these things. Yeah, instead of eating, he would chew gum so he could get so thin for The Machinist. You should watch that movie. It is insane.
Yeah. I mean, that's a dedication to your craft.
I respect
I don't think
that.
I would do that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, turns out to build a website, you can eat all you want. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Eat nothing.
I eat
everything.
exclusively Taco Bell, and it works out great.
Yeah. I do have a plan to have this sort of Pepsi challenge with my son. We have had Taco Bell. I mean, I think their supreme crunchy tacos are like, that to me is like the baseline. It's like, it's good. This is what I'm here for. I like it. I don't want your weird gordita, wrappy, like whatever bullshit. I don't want
They have a new thing that you need to try.
Oh.
They are, the Crunch Wrap, right?
Yeah, only because I've seen people post cooking videos about how to make your own.
Well, they have Crunch Wrap sliders, like mini ones.
No.
And they come with queso, and you dip them in it, and it is
that does sound
fire. Amazing. Yeah.
How many years do I want to take off my life? I don't know. It's hard to say, but okay, noted. But what we want to do is the Pepsi challenge around just like American fast food crunchy tacos. And for us here, you've got Taco Bell, Del Taco, and they're not that far from each other, so I can like go get both.
I think if you're getting a standard taco, I don't think it's going to be hard to beat Taco Bell.
Yeah. Have you had Del Taco?
I think.
Yeah. Doesn't stand out for you.
I don't know.
We also have Jack in the Box.
Once or twice.
We also have Jack in the Box tacos, which for some stupid reason,
those should be
like,
bottom of the barrel.
I think they are. I did let my son try them because he was like, I want to try that. And I don't know. I was like, sure, be underwhelmed. And he was like, these are great. I was like, well, we've really set the bar low, I guess, because they're so bad that they're like kind of crunchy, but also kind of soggy because they just like put meat with grease in there, and it's a slice of American cheese. It's not even shredded cheese. They don't even fucking bother.
Burger King also has tacos, for what it's worth.
Please don't do that.
I just saw them on the menu one time and went, what? Why?
I just don't like when like companies go far outside their lane. And I'm reminded of when Mercedes released a minivan. And I was like, I know why they did it, because that's when they did the Daimler Chrysler thing. But I was like, it was a Mercedes Chrysler minivan. I was like, just don't. No, that's not your thing.
I also was very upset with Taco Bell for the nacho fries because they kept hyping it up about like, we got these nacho fries and we made all these commercials with all these famous actors and nacho fries are such a big deal. I'm like, guys, fries are a burger joint thing. You're not supposed to have fries.
Yeah.
And I tried them one time and I was like, man, this is dumb. These are just fries. I don't want to get fries here.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward a couple years when they came back and Finn really likes them. Okay. And I was like, I'll try them. And I was like, actually, these are pretty fire. Like whatever seasoning they put on it is like crack. It's like so good.
Okay, I just want to make sure they're not like Ore-Ida crinkle cut like bullshit.
No, they're not crinkle cut. I think they're like everyone's fries mostly are, where they like puree the potato and form it back into fries.
Oh, okay.
Like
right.
that's what
it's like
most fast food does.
Yeah, it's a mashed potato in a crunchy kind of thing. Okay, well, I mean, maybe. That's what I say about that. Maybe. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to see you next, but I will commit to, if it's in person, I'll try some nacho fries.
Well, they're gone now.
Oh, that's
they're gone. They'll come back. They're like the McRib. They come back.
Yeah.
They come and they go.
Oof. Yeah, but every time the McRib comes, I think about it and then I say no. Now I'm like, I'm not 22
sure
anymore, and I don't want to.
I remember them being a thing, and I was always just like, I'd rather have like a quarter pounder. I don't want this.
You know what I akin this to is that Applebee's also seasonally does unlimited riblets, which like what are riblets? I don't know. They're ribs. They're smaller. They used to be fine, but when they would do the unlimited with friends, I would be like, I haven't eaten today. And then we would just try to crush 3-4 baskets of riblets.
Yeah. I liked the TGI Fridays unlimited apps.
Mm-hmm.
I would go just get plates and plates of wings and just hang out.
Yeah. Exactly. But if you did that today, I think you'd be disappointed. Well, first of all, because you can't go to a Fridays. I don't think they exist at all anymore. Right?
That can't be true. Are they out of business? I went to one probably 5 years ago.
Oh, there is a website. So I'm going to tell you live right now. Then we're going to talk about.
I think this is an interesting point because Fridays was on the Food That Built America.
Yeah.
Have you watched that at all?
Oh, well, yeah. I've seen some.
All these things like are killing it to the point where like someone comes in, an investor, and is like, we should franchise this. Then they franchise it and everything blows. Why can't we franchise something well? Like, I guess Chipotle is pretty good. Like,
well,
but are
even
they franchised or are they all?
Well, they're definitely franchised, I think. Well, I don't know, but I know that they have had about a lot of blowback in the last year or so about quality. And so all of these things, when they grow and they get investment, tend to have quality dings. And that's probably a subject for another day, but like it's not limited to restaurants, by the way. So VCs, private equity, have gotten involved in so many things. They're not just buying houses, trying to rent them. They're also buying services for these houses. So like they will buy, major plumbing groups and stuff in the area. And then that's all of a sudden how you get plumbers trying to pitch you a subscription model. So you get prioritized appointments and stuff. And
my water company that does our well stuff, they just came here the other day and they said they were just bought by some big firm. So they like their prices went up like 10% because they're owned by someone.
Yep.
Like this is bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit. So yeah, I mean, mom and pops are like prime to do well in communities, I think. Like if you don't, if you set up a service and you are not owned by a big corporation, I think you're primed to do well.
I think this is a thing people are starting to realize. If you're like a company like that, and you want to retire or you want some money and you want to do something else, you can sell it to another, like, you can sell it to us.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
we can run it as still a mom and pop kind of shop. You can get your payout still.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be owned by a big corporation.
Yeah. Don't take the big cash. Think about like your employees in the next decade, multiple decades, and everything else.
And just keep some equity. Like if you want to, you might not get as big of an initial payout, but if you still own 40% or something and like they run it well for 10 years, you got tons of money. So I don't know.
What service
it's a hard
business
problem.
would you like? Because I think I would be into being a like electrician or something like that. I
love basic electrician work, like putting in new switches and plugs and light fixtures.
Yeah,
I think it would be tedious to run a wire from like one end of a house to another without ripping the walls down.
No.
Like I don't like that where you're fishing a thing through like all day long.
Yeah. Well,
I would hate that aspect.
Lucky enough as a teenager, well, that's a complicated relationship. So it was like supposed to be a stepdad at a point. It didn't go to fruition, but anyway, blah, blah, blah. He was an electrician and he was running wiring at a Holiday Inn that was being built. And myself and my stepbrother went out there to help him. And I mean, like he just told us what to do and we ran the wires and did all this stuff. And I was like, this is kind of fun.
New construction is extremely fun.
Yeah.
Nothing is in your way.
Yeah.
I did that. Like we did like a church mission trip thing and wired a whole house.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's empty. So you just run it along the studs and like staple it where you need to, run it through holes, like
create your holes,
easy and
do
fun.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But when the walls exist, it's a bitch.
Yeah, it's a lot harder, like fishing stuff and stuff. Yeah, because I've like looked a little bit into like, if you wanted to run Cat 6 through your whole house or whatever, what does that look like? Well, it looks like a pain in the ass. You pay somebody to do it. So,
I have my electrician do it.
Yeah.
He has all these like sticks that he feeds through with everything. And
exactly.
He'll like, you try to get it to like one can light to where you can see it and then you can pull it through more and then you do the next, like, you're finding A, B, C, all the points you go to. But yeah, I need quick wins. Like if I can do like this outlet will be replaced and it will work within, 5 minutes. That's what I want.
Well, anyway, I do think there's some opportunity there. And I do think that private equity has invaded every single source of our life. They're like, how do we maximize profit? Everywhere. Maximize. Capitalism has taken a weird turn. Like capitalism at its heart, I don't think there's a problem with that, but like maximizing shareholder value in every facet of my life doesn't serve me or my community to its best extent. Nope. And that is the fucking problem.
As all these big corporations own everything, and as all of us get replaced by AI, I just don't understand what's going to happen. Let's say, I don't know, you've got, I don't know how many single family homes you might have in America. Let's say 200 million, whatever. If 100 million of those, the mortgage can't be paid because everyone's been replaced by AI. All right, I'm a rich billionaire. Why would I want to own these homes, right? Because like they can't pay me. Mm-hmm. So what happens to the homes? Like what's the point at this point? The bank owns them all and then no one can buy them because no one makes any money.
That's the argument for UBI. That's the argument for UBI.
But UBI will not pay for upper middle class mortgages. It'll pay for like, your rent for like a
that assumes
one bedroom
a class
apartment
system, and so that gets diminished. Because there's two things I want to talk about before we end. Number one thing, so post-apocalyptic society, right? Because that's the alternative. If you don't have UBI and you equalize things between the ultra rich and your society, because there's no middle anymore. So you're elevating the lower and you're equalizing the middle, I think. Silo. It's an intent to that, and it didn't go well. So these are the silos. These are the experiments.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, have you read the books? Do you know anything past season 2?
So I didn't read the books. I watched season 1 and 2. And then, so here's the backstory there.
Oh, well, if you know things past season 2, don't tell me.
I'm not going to, no spoilers here. It's just this, in that we watched season 1 and 2. We both were like, oh, we love it. We're inspired. My wife, she goes and gets the third book. Mm-hmm. And I said, wait a minute. Why are you jumping ahead? And she's like, well, I've already seen the first 2 seasons. I've already basically read the first 2 books. I'm going to go and do this. And I said, that's bullshit, because the books always give you more context. Like, why wouldn't you want that? You're like, you like it. You're getting more content about it. Read the first 2. And she said, nah. And I think you should read it.
Yeah. And I think like doing it that way would ruin the 3rd season of the show for me. Like I wouldn't want to watch it after that because it's going to be different.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, but like I have, a bunch of theories around how they all got there and stuff. And I don't know if we want to discuss them necessarily, but yeah, I agree with you that it could be a real thing of like the ultra wealthy have some sort of experiment with all the rest of us.
Isn't that Fallout also like similar thing where?
No, Fallout wasn't intentional. It was just like the whole world blew up and was irradiated. So
yeah, but the rich people had their.
Well, that's true, I guess. That's true.
Yeah, they could. They were just able.
They could escape.
They could buy into this. So instead of build like what happens right now is the billionaires can have their own Fallout shelters, and instead it was more like you can buy your way into this as an option, and then it happened, and so they. Went into it. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff could very possibly happen. So,
yeah. World War III. On a lighter note, you've been to Miami. Would you recommend other people go to Miami?
Yes. I've been to Miami twice. I don't really know a ton about Miami, honestly, other than there is a really good React conference there.
Where can folks find you during that conference?
Where can they find me? Not there. But if you would like to go, you can find Charles William Carpenter III alongside Aaron, middle name Francis. They will be hosting Rum React and Ramblings.
Is that his middle name? Oh,
middle name?
Insert middle name. I see. Yeah. I got you. I'm
brackets. I'm sure it's not a secret. Like I just don't
know. Aaron Francis.
I'm going to say Joseph. Aaron Joseph Francis.
Yeah, that seems good. He's not Mormon though. So I don't know.
I don't know. It just popped in my head. Just felt right.
Okay.
It's probably not at all.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll learn. That'll be one of my questions for him. And I think we'll find out.
But it should be a fun time. We haven't booked guests yet. I'm going to mandate that you do somewhere between 2 to 5 episodes, depending on how the setup is, what the timing is, whatever. So more than one for sure. So, hang out. The timing will be probably posted somewhere if you're there and you want to see it. React Miami in general is essentially the tech Twitter conference is what I would call it. Like everyone you argue with will be there.
Yeah.
Most of them don't use React and actually kind of hate React, but they'll still be there.
I mean, if you think about it, so the hosts are Madison Kana and Ken Wheeler, and
who both use React.
Do they are they pro React? I don't know.
I don't think they're necessarily pro React evangelists, but they use React in their job.
Yeah, for sure. I think those are very, if I was going to bookend a conference and think about, people on different ends of the chill spectrum, the chill spectrum. I'm going to call it the chill spectrum. Yeah, that would make sense to me. So.
Mm-hmm. If you play your cards right, Dax will not invite you to his party, so you have that to look forward to.
Everyone's invited unless you are an asshole or you mess it up. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of how it is. How come you've never been invited?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably the same reason I was never promoted at Amazon.
I don't know. There's a thing. Well, what he said to me was like, I invited you. I just kind of thought that was, plus one. And then when you're like, I can't make it, he's like, that's why I never invited him.
Yeah. I know. I think it's it's an open invite to most people.
It is. Yeah, it's not specific.
Yeah. There were easily 50 people there last time.
I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be kind of crazy.
Cuz now it's a known thing. So the people that missed out are like, I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which means I'm probably just going to stay in the hotel and play games. I don't need to be there. Yeah, I'm going to skip it.
Well, just send Aaron.
Yeah.
I do think you guys should play a fun game of Aaron should just be me. Yeah. Just be like, hey, I'm Robbie the Wagner.
Yeah. Hi, this is Robbie the Wagner. I am Wagnering right now.
Yeah. I am from Virginia, not Texas.
No. Is he from Texas or just lives in Texas?
Oh, I don't know.
So there's so many things to be learned.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably about at time.
I think we've covered the bases. The time zones are going to change for everyone else but me this weekend. And I am bitter about that because you're not a fucking farmer. What's your problem? Just stay on.
That means that we're further apart in time again, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it annoys me.
Well, you'll be in Italy soon. Won't matter.
Andiamo.
All right. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Anagramsecurity.com. If you are an idiot and don't know how to protect yourself, there are courses here you should ask your company for. This is not a sponsored post, by the way.
Oh, God.
So, anyway, that's where I work. And
Chuck used to work there until that.
Yeah, I got fired right now. If you all are wondering why I'm looking for another job, that's why. So folks know that I love Darknet Diaries. I have been very interested in privacy, security, all these things, and like personal security. And the more time we spend online sharing our information and like saying, oh yeah, look what I get for free. If it's free, you are the product. Like, so this is an opportunity that like helps me go deeper into that and learn. And if you want to learn,
you guys should sponsor Darknet Diaries because they have a bunch of sponsors that are, in the security space.
Yeah, fair enough. You just toss the gauntlet down. I mean, I don't control that, but I can say that. I don't know.
Hey, we'll send Jack some more whiskey and
he doesn't want it. He's not a big drinker.
That's true.
He said to me, it was like
flower drink that he drinks in.
Yes,
was it Thailand?
In Vegas? No, it's in Vegas actually.
I thought it was in some other country that he.
I'm actually gonna try and find that at the end of this month. I'm going to Vegas to see Dead & Co. at the Sphere, mostly because I just want to check out the Sphere. Dead & Co. is fronted by John Mayer, which I think is an incredible musician. So like doing Grateful Dead songs, him, like that seems like a cool vibe. I don't know. Yeah.
You get to see his amps.
Amps.
That you plug the guitar into?
Yeah, no, I know what they are. I don't really know what that fucking reference is about. So
well, I know his amps you have to apply to get. Like you can't, like you and I can't buy them. What is happening?
It's a bunch of shit that you can't fucking do.
You've been watching Whiskey Web and Whatnot, recorded in front of a live studio audience.
What the fuck are you talking about, Chuck?
Enjoyed the show? Subscribe.
You know people don't pay attention to these, right?
Head to whiskey.fun for merch and to join our Discord server.
I'm serious. It's like 2% of people who actually click these links.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about the show.
All right, dude, I'm out of here.
Still got it.